dabbler with my last project before Christmas. I thought a quick and easy one again today. We're going to be decorating a canvas bag, and again it's going to be another quick and easy one, but I think with some really lovely results. I think you're going to like this, and you can take this as far as you want to go with decorating it, but you're going to start with getting some results like this. So interested? I hope so. So as usual, this is everything that I'm going to be using today, and don't worry, it's also going to be down in the descriptions below if you miss it. So you know the drill. Go grab yourself a brew, sit back, relax, enjoy, and let's get to it. So I've been using my Pearly Wink inks to get some really lovely, blending here, and all I've done is I've slightly damped the surface of the bag. Inside the bag, just if you can see that there, right, all that is a heat-proof mat, but you can literally put some plastic in there. You just want something to protect the front and the back. You don't, obviously it's going to be wet, you don't want it leaking through, but I've got a heat-proof mat and it's stuck on a piece of card. Now if you can put something heat-proof inside, it will benefit you for what we're going to do a bit later on, just saying. If you can't, don't worry, cardboard will do. All I'm going to be doing is wetting the surface and spreading some colour about. Then I'm going to let it dry naturally. You can dry it with a heat tool. I have been told though, doing that can lessen the intensity of colours in general. It's not for Pearly Winks or any particular brand. I've just been told in general, if you dry things with a heat tool, it can lessen the intensity of the colours. So I'm going to let mine dry naturally, and then we're going to get to the next step where we're going to start getting some really gorgeous patterns down. See you in a few minutes. That. So next stage we're going to do is we're going to start doing some of our heat embossing. So I'm going to show you what I've been using, and I've done a bit of research as well. The best results I've found for heat embossing on fabric the sort of glittery metallic embossing powders are the ones that seem to come out the best. They don't seem to absorb so much into the fabric. Now, saying that, I use this. It's called Flitter glue. It's by a company called Indigoblu. We're going to be using this in a little bit for what it's actually intended for, which is for gilding flakes in a little while. But what I have found is if you use it to stamp with and then heat emboss over, it also seems to help stop the embossing powders sink in. So if you don't have something like this, if you've just got something, a thick glue, I've seen people do it with Mod Podge. I just don't have any. I have heard some people say that they have slightly better results with a gloss medium, but that's where they've actually painted in a big square and then they've heat embossed on top of that. I didn't want to do that because I wanted to keep the soft flexibility in this. As you can see, the inks haven't caused the bag to go stiff. This won't run once it's heat set. This could go outside. I mean, this is actually going to be a little bag for a Santa's letter, but you know, if you were doing a big tote, it won't run once it's heat set. You can put it through a lukewarm wash, and I mean, if you always want to be doubly sure, you can always add something like GAC 900 by Golden. But honestly, I've had absolutely no problems with this. Right, so let's get to it. Enough waffling. So, what I've done is I've taken a bit of cut and dry foam, and again, if you go to Indigoblu's website, and I'm pretty sure they probably still do it, they used to do these packs where you'd get a tub of flitter glue, a big sheet of cut and dry foam, and you'd get some of their gilding flakes, and I've had a bundle of theirs for absolutely years and it's still lasted me. Such good quality. I can't, you know, for the gilding flakes and for doing this embossing, got to say it's really doing well. So I have my stamp, and I've got it on a little acrylic block, and what I did was I took some of the flitter glue and I got my spatula, she says, there it is, and basically took a small amount of the glue, because I mean you're really not going to be using loads and loads, like a very small amount. And again, I mean, if you do have any cut and dry foam, I would suggest doing this if you're doing this kind of embossing, cutting a small bit off, and then literally you're going to put it on the cut and dry foam and just work it into the foam. Just use a spatula or anything, scrapey tool or anything, and just work it into that foam. Alright, because you're going to basically be using this now as like an ink pad. Okay. So now I'm going to take my stamp, and I'm going to go in with the flitter glue and make sure I get it all over. Like so, really get it in there. And if you get it on your acrylic block, don't worry, you can always give it a wipe off. And very quickly, before you do any stamping, always go in with your anti-static bag. That's just going to help things not stick where they're not meant to. Okay, so we're going to go on with our stamp, and then we'll do one down here, like so. Let's take that away and give it a good, now keep it on there for a little bit. You want to let the glue try and soak into the fibres, obviously not too long that you want it to necessarily dry out. Now I know with my flitter glue, this glue stays tacky. That's what it's made to do with the gilding flakes. So I have a lot of what's called open time. So I just want to make sure that gets into the fibres of the bag. Lift and pull. And then I'm going to grab my, and I'm using the Wow, I think it's Wow Gold, or it could be Antique Gold. I shall put it all in the description below, and just pop it in there. And it's just, I would like to, back of the lid, just to give it a tap. My fingers don't get all glittery. Get it in there. Okay. Now, I will always suggest when you're doing gilding, have a little brush at hand, because when you tip it off, and just give it a very gentle tap from behind. Hopefully it shouldn't be too much on there because we use the anti-static bag. Fabulous. And all the little bits that are just round the edges that just caught, just go in there with a brush and tidy it up. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward because I'm going to have to heat emboss now. Now, what I will say is always warm your heat tool up before you go in to emboss. Don't hold it over there and wait, because you'll end up scorching your fabric. So do warm up your heat tool first. Okay, put that over there, put that to there. Right, let's get embossing. Me done for my embossing. We are going to use some gilding flakes. Now if you don't have gilding flakes but you have some of that foil, the heat foil, where I think you get like one of the little mini irons or something and you can press it on, something similar to that, or oh gosh, what else? I mean, you could even use stickers on this, as long as you've got an adhesive that's going to hold it on. I mean, it's not exactly bags you're going to be taking outside with you. You know, for me, this is just for Christmas. But I'll show you what I've got. These are my gilding flakes, or at least one of them I've picked for this project. Again, it's an Indigoblu one. And I just like this one. It's full of everything. Oh gosh, also gets everywhere, so be warned. Anybody that has a dryer on, or air conditioning or anything like that, turn it off when you're using these stuff if you've never tried it before, because it will go everywhere. Don't sneeze. Whatever you do, don't do this and sneeze. Anyway, right, so let's have a look. Oh, it is absolutely jam-packed and it's beautiful. Right, so it's, don't want to waste that. Go back. Right, okay, so what we're going to do, remember I said to you about I've got flakes on me already. Here we go. This is where I'm going to end up covered in it. The band up here and these joins here. Well, this is where you get to decide your pattern, what you want, how you want to divide it all up. Again, I'm going to be using my flitter glue. If you've used gilding flakes before, use whatever it is you've used. Again, I would assume possibly something like a Mod Podge, but don't hold me to that. I mean, as I say, I know with my flitter glue, it stays tacky. It doesn't, it's not an instant dry, so that's why it's perfect for this. I'm going to put a band up along the top here, and I'm going to do very thin bands sort of just around here. I'm just going to break it up a little bit, and the best way to make sure that you're getting straight lines when you're doing this is to use masking tape. I'll show you how I'm going to do that, but it just makes life an awful lot easier. Right, here we go. Well, there you go. I ended up braiding the broken bits from the Christmas decorations. I think it looks quite cute. I hope it's given you some kind of inspiration to have a play. I'd love to see what you've done. If you do have a go, please pop over to my Facebook page and send me a pic. I'd love to see it. That's it from me. Have a fantastic Christmas, and I hope to see you before the new year, but if it doesn't happen, I most definitely will see you in the new year, and I'll be bringing the art journal project. We're going to be starting from scratch, building our own art journal, and learning some new mixed media techniques. So I hope you'll join me. So that's it. Thank you ever so much for supporting me. I hope you'll continue. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button below, and please don't forget notifications, because it'd be ever so nice if you could keep joining us. So from my crafty arty heart to yours, be good, be safe, be kind, be loved, and have a fantastic new year. Bye all.